So here we are looking at the Proxmox environment. I thought we'd go through adding fiber channel from the PowerMax just so you can see how that works. So as I mentioned in the blog post, there's no support for SDC. So on the PowerFlex, we can't present block level. We can only do file. With the PowerMax, we can do iSCSI and we can also do a fiber channel. Both of those are going to require an LVM, right? So you can't ingest these devices like KVM or VMware. Even KVM, which is obviously this is running, on top of basically. If you've looked at my other posts or read the paper, you can take a fiber channel or an iSCSI device and, create a data center on it. There's no issue doing that. Proxmox doesn't let you do that. You can't just ingest it. If you try to ingest iSCSI directly, it gets ingested as a single device, kind of like an RDM. Fiber channel, it doesn't even let you can't see it, right? So what you have to do is you end up having to create the logical volume manager on it first, and then Proxmox can recognize it in your environment. So essentially that's what we're going to do. I'm not editing the video, so I apologize if we have some mistakes or whatever. I just don't feel like polishing this one up. It's much more interesting just to kind of pop through. So what I've done is inside of my Unisphere environment, I have two hosts created for 97 and 99, which are my two hosts in the cluster here. And I have two masking views just because I have two different initiator groups, but it's the same storage group that's presented to both. So this storage group, this Proxmox SG, will have two devices, two 500 gig devices, volumes. So here's our two volumes. So if we come out to the CLI, and again, as I noted in the blog post, CLI is pretty important, both obviously in the KVM and the Proxmox world, unlike VMware where it's mostly UI interface. So we can just run our standard fdisk, right, if we want to see the devices, and you can see them here, right, 500. These are the same devices, two paths, right? And then we should see similarly out here, right, two paths. Now, the other thing you're going to see is down here in the mapper file that we've aliased these. And we've done that, or I've done that through the multipath.conf file, which you should use in the environment. Basically, I've set the alias here for these two different 500 gig devices, right? PowerMax 1, PowerMax 2. Obviously, the same thing over here, PowerMax 1, PowerMax 2. Right. So, and I have my blacklisted devices up here. Right. So if I run multipath, right, I'll see my multipath environment here. So now that we've presented the fiber channel and made it available to both devices, to both hosts, so that we can share it, we want to go in and do that part of creating the LVM basically. So we're going to start on either one. Doesn't matter which host we want to use, and we'll run a PV create, and then we'll provide that alias. So we have our physical volume PV created, and then we'll do a VG create, and then call that PMax 1, let's say, and dev mapper, and then PowerMax 1. So we have our volume group available to us. Should also be available over here now, right? Because they're both seeing the same storage. So once that part's done, we can come back into our Proxmox environment, And again, we'll take it up to the data center level for storage, and we're going to do an add LVM, right? Is what we want to add. And now you can see our volume group is available here. Right? ID, we'll just call it PMax fiber channel. We want to click that shared box, right? I usually click that too, just to wipe the volumes, and we'll add that. So now here it's available, and here it's available over here too. So it automatically added it, and then we can see it on both sides. So that's how you use fiber channel devices from PowerMax in the Proxmox environment. You have to take these couple of extra steps to go through to actually add it. But then once you have it, it acts as any other data store out here, shared data store that you can create virtual machines on it. And then obviously you have the shared storage so you can move the virtual machine between the two different hosts or however many hosts you have.